My name is Priscilla Manson. I'm currently the head of Human Resource and Administration at Danwell Insurance. I am the firstborn of 5 girls, and my parents were both Catholics. In fact, they are both Catholics and retired teachers. And you know that when you come from a Catholic background, you can't afford to fail. And they are disciplinarian too. So I started my primary education in Axim Catholic School. And then by class 6, we relocated to Elmina. So I continued from Elmina St. Anne's Catholic School. And you know, our days, we used to enjoy the old system. So when you get to class 6, you can afford to write common entrance exams and go to secondary school. So I sat for common entrance in Form 2, and I went to Holy Child School. From Holy Child School, I did the A and the O levels, and then I found myself in Cape Coast Polytechnic. Then later on in years, I did my degree course in Methodist University, Human Resource, and then I did my master's as well. Then I did my professional certification at Chartered Institute of Human Resource. So that's just the brief about me. Do I need to go on?
Yeah, continue. I mean, if you can take one, I will be happy.
Oh, then I have a lot to say. Okay,
so don't worry.
So at Holy Child, I wanted to be a bilingual secretary. Okay, just to chip in this, I'd always wanted to be a Reverend Sister anyway. So when I got to Holy Child, in fact, this came about because in Elmina, we had a community mass, community church for the old people. So I used to go around to inform the old that they were going to, Father is coming around, so they should get ready the next day. Sometimes I even go and bring them. And then I was also leading them during the Rosary Month. So I had the desire to be a Reverend Sister. I actually stayed in the convent for some time. So when I went to Holy Child, all that changed, and then I wanted to be a bilingual secretary. So I did French. After SIS4, my French didn't go well, so I had to go to Cape Coast Polytechnic to do secretaryship.
I beg you, you have not told us what changed. What caused the change at Holy Child?
The change happened because my auntie never agreed with me, okay? My auntie said I'm the first of 5 girls. And she's scared that the moment I take that position, all the 5 girls, the 4 girls will follow me. So she discouraged me. Yeah. Okay. So Holy Child, I met this Reverend Sister Josephine, and she excited me a lot with the way she was speaking her French and encouraging us and all that. So I decided to add French to my management studies, that with the aim of becoming a bilingual secretary. And so when I went to Cape Coast Polytechnic, I offered HND in secretariatship and management. Then I saw something in the course outline that said entrepreneurship, entrepreneur. In my mind, I was thinking, hey, I'm coming to do another French course here. Then when I go to the class, I realized that it's a different thing altogether. And that is what also changed my bilingual secretary, okay? Because I learned a lot, and I realized that, I could have chains of businesses, if only I know how to manage them well. So before I left Poly, I knew what I was going to do after Poly. I had my business plan. I had the name for my business and all that. And that is where I met my sweetheart too. So we planned all those things together. Then before I left Poly, in fact, Poly, I was the TA for my ICT class, okay? And then before I left Poly, I was helping my uncle who had come from USA and was writing a book and was also lecturing at Purdue Seminary. So I was going there all the time to support him with his. the rector there, now Monsignor Winat Amewo, actually employed me to be his PA. So that's where I started my official work from. I stayed with him within a year. Then I had a major broken heart. So I went to see him and I was like,
Interesting. When we look at you, you don't look like one that has suffered a major or even a minor broken heart. But friends, we already getting to know a lot.
Work with him again because students. So when I went to Asim Fosu, the idea was to go to the Fosu Training College, have a shop there, and do the same for the students. But when I got to the place, I realized that there's more I could do, okay? Because I had already learned secretaryship and management. I know how to use most of the softwares in the computing. So I decided to set up a secretariatship school rather. And then I trained most of the girls who left school, some of the branch managers, bank managers, and then internal revenue managers, and most of the pastors. Okay, so it was a big school. The place, it was difficult. There were lots of challenges, but within 3 to 4 years, with one computer and a printer, I'd managed to secure about 12 computers and 2 photocopies. So it was a good one because I had a journalist in my class who was always, saying one thing or one or two things about us in the media. And then we had this airwave space too. So it was a good school, if you ask me. But then that's where I found my husband too. And then when I got pregnant with my firstborn, I needed to leave Asim Fosu and come to Elmina so that mommy could take care of me. Then after 3 months, after I left Fosu and I went back, my business was just almost collapsing, if I should put it like that. I was left with 4 machines and 4 computers. That was it. The rest were all gone, damaged, whatever. Asim Fosu, it's a very big place, if you ask me. But then, there were a lot of challenges in terms of electricity. A day, the lights could go off 6 times. And when it rains, the thunder and the lightning, it was a very difficult place to manage. So when I was trying to, get back to business, then I got pregnant again with a second child. So I told mommy that, hey, the doctor says I shouldn't travel. So I'll be in Asim Fosu till I give birth. So if anything, you should manage and come. All because I didn't want to leave my business and go and come back and face another issue. But then, as marriage will have it, my husband was transferred from Cape Coast to Accra. So I had to follow him to Accra and I sold the business and I came to Accra. Should I continue? Okay, so when I came to Accra, the difference.
You know what? We are also
continue.
Your people are around.
Yes.
Continue.
Yes.
We are listening. Priscilla.
Please continue.
Wow, we are learning a lot.
All right.
Flow. Priscilla, flow.
Thank you. Okay, so when I go to Accra, the condition was very sharp. The situation was very hard because living the not village, the town life and coming to the city, it was very but then I had some of my people because I was doing financial statement or something for the Kakumura Bank, exams questions for other schools, some of the international schools there. So some followed me with their requests, but I realized that I couldn't adjust because of the situation in Accra. And I tried to find myself a job. I attended all the interviews and all that. One thing for you to laugh, when I was so desperately looking for a job, my uncle comes home one day and was like, there was a slip in the box for you. It has been with me since Monday. And it was Friday around 4 o'clock. it means maybe you have a package in the post office, so you can just pick the slip. And when he said that, I was so sure it was an application letter. So I didn't think twice. I just picked the slip and I went to cantonment. I got there and it was an application that I was directly sent to a different whatever company, and they gave it to me. I was so down that day, but I didn't give up. Okay. Then the same year, I think 2007, we usually have a family party. That's 26th of every year, December, 26th December. Then a cousin approached me and said that a friend of hers husband wanted a relieving officer in his office. So if I would be interested for just 2 weeks. I said, no, anything goes. So because I was desperately looking for a job. And then I realized that in fact days, and it was not coming, in fact the days were like years for me. I thought the moment she said it, I was going to get the job the next day. It wasn't coming. So on the 31st of December, I didn't go to church. I prayed. And God knows that prayer has to be prayed again. Because I was praying, my first girl woke up and was like, Mommy, what are you doing? And I said, I'm praying that if you want to get to the heart of God, the next day, as my prayers came, and I was asked to go to FBN to see one Mr. Office like 6 a.m. And the security said, I just couldn't enter, so I had to wait for the office to open, which I think it was open around 8:30. When I went in, the man was like, are you the one I'm looking for? I said, yes, my name is Priscilla. I said, did they tell you you're coming to work in a bank? And I'm like, yes, please. I didn't understand it, but later on I got to know that this is you know, wearing her tie and dress, thinking that is the best dress that she could get. Apparently, you're supposed to be in suits and go to the bank and go and work it at the bank.
Yeah.
Then later on, he said, so what can you do? What can you possibly do? Because I think he had already given up on me. So he was like, so what can you possibly do? I said, I can do anything you give me. Then he was like, can you do my work? And I said, oh, no, but I have secretarial background, computing, so anything you give me around that I could do it. Then he took me to a room and then he said, these are the staff files. Give me a staff. That is what I did. He came back with 2 hours because it was like 80 to work on it. And I should be part of his team. And that's how I was taken to the general manager and the man said that week. And that was it. So that's how come I landed the job in Accra. Then few months into that, the man called me again and was like, you do most of the work better yourself because you are doing most of the work, you are the least paid. So he advised me to go, and then, in fact, he took it upon himself, gave me a letter. I went to Central University. They told me I couldn't do 2 years. I have to do 3 years. If I want 2 years, I should do management, because I came back. He said no. He sent me to Methodist University, and that's where they admitted me. In fact, whilst I was doing the human resource, I didn't even have any idea what it was all about. Okay. So after my degree, I fell in love with human resource because the idea of getting to know people stands, it was just something, and then professional. But then within a year of being in ICB, the man left to BSI. And he poached me along, you know. Okay. And that was then for some time, I mean, after a while, he left again. and I was taken to the branch of operations, worked under Mr. Yamwa. And then later on, I was taken back to HR as an HR officer, later as an HR partner. Then I became the relationship manager.
So
and I left to Downwell Insurance. Can I breathe here, or I should continue?
Yeah, I was going to ask you a question. Now,
Please continue.
You're a lady of many sides. We'll be interested to know, when did you first come to know the concept of leadership?
Okay.
So when did you, growing up, when did leadership come out as a concept?
Yeah, I think leadership as a concept. I think I didn't realize that, but when you invited me to your program, I realized that all this while I've had some sort of, leadership attributes, I say attributes. And then there are lots of positions that I've handled over the years. I used to tell my kids that when I was growing up, I didn't have that. I was not confident enough to accept positions. But going down the memory lane, I realized that at every point in my life, I held the position up to date. And currently I'm holding about 5 positions. So the concept of leadership came to me, I can say the very first day when
Well,
hello.
Yes, you were telling us when the concept of leadership came to you. The very first day.
Yeah, mommy told me to go out and sell the corn, and that I shouldn't come home if I don't sell everything. So I also didn't come home because I couldn't sell, knowing mommy for who she is and who she was, I couldn't sell all, so I couldn't come home. Then late in the evening, I realized that mom was looking for me. So she found me and brought me home. When she came home, she told me that she asked me, she didn't tell me not to come home, but she wanted me to do my best. And that's anything that I find myself doing, I should do it. I should give it my best. I shouldn't, do it in pieces. So that's kind of commitment, okay? When I go back to memory, I realize that this is what has kept me all this while. Because anything that I handle, I try to do my best, and I can't, beat my chest and say, oh, at least I've tried. That's what's a little that I can say about it.
And that is for me, that is one of the things that stands out with you. I believe there are others who, when we open it up, will share their experiences of working with you and the influence that you have had on them and how you go about it. I've had the privilege of working with you in the leadership for business management and finance, and the way you are able to combine all these things and still be committed and effective at all the areas. It beats my mind. It beats my imagination. What would you define leadership? What would be your definition? Priscilla 2021, if we want a quote, your definition of leadership, your own words.
In my own words, I personally think that leadership is influence. Okay, leadership is gradually, it's a process that you gradually warm into your team and then influence their decision in order to help achieve the organization, the objective of the organization. Okay, so to have that influence, I think you yourself as a leader, you need to be credible. Your team members should have that trust in you as a leader before you can influence them.
So, Priscilla, you've talked about credibility and you've talked also about trust. Now, I know the issue of trust in leadership is very, very important. And that is what also shows how credible that you will be so far as the people that you're working with and the people that you're leading are concerned. Now, I want to find out any other traits that you have in your own leadership as you look over your life. What are the traits that make your leadership stand out in your own? The last time you did some research on Priscilla, what were those traits that stood out for you?
Okay, so I would say the last time I decided to get feedback from my team, the traits that stood up were being empathy, commitment, and then service to people.
Empathy, commitment.
I remember during the lockdown service. I remember during the lockdown, I wanted to know more about me, my weakness and my strength. So I joined this Gallup training program online. Okay, and they gave me a report of 5 signatures. That is 5 strengths that I have. And they stated empathy, they stated responsibility, positivity, developer, and then some restoration. Okay, and I was instructed to give the summary of the reports to my supervisor, my family, and then my family member that I can trust, and a friend that I can trust. Am I permitted to read what my supervisor said? Just a portion.
Yes, just a portion. If you have your supervisor's permission.
I think I should have his permission.
Yes, I also can guess.
That's why I'm not reading all, I'm reading parts.
Fine.
So he said empathy.
Yeah.
You can sense the emotions of those around you. You can feel what they are feeling as though their feelings are your own. Intuitively, you see the world through their eyes and share their perspective. It is difficult for you to make a decision based on the good of the business. So this is what I will share. And then I sat down and I realized that, yes, when it comes to making a decision, you have to factor in a lot of things. And he said an example about some dismissal thing like that. But I had a different opinion, okay? I was not looking at how it's going to affect the business, but I was looking at how it was going to affect the person after he has contributed so much to the business, okay? But then again, I realized that if we dwell on empathy too much, you may have challenges. So what I do is I try to balance it these days. It was good that I had that feedback. All along, I thought I was doing it right because this is me, we understand.
Yeah.
And then commitment. Looks like, as I said earlier, from what Mommy said throughout, I realized that anytime I want to do something, I really go all out to do it. I remember, I've told you already about a sinful issue where lights would go off more than 6 times a day. People were telling me that I couldn't make it in a sinful, okay? But I gave it my best shot.
Your best.
And it helped at a point. I'm sure if I'd continued, I would have achieved whatever I wanted to achieve. And then again, I see service to people, because it looks like most of the time, I think I get the signal from even my children. Mommy, you are tired. Why don't you tell them that you are tired? Okay. But this is the case. I put the needs of my whatever the person first, better than mine. I remember just last week, I was in the hospital. I was so, stressed out with my girl up and down in the hospital, and a call came from the office. I wanted to just shout and then, say whatever to the person. But upon a second thought, I said, well, these are my team members. If I go shouting, did they know the position I'm in at that moment? No, if they knew, they wouldn't have called. So these are some of the things I see myself doing, without even thinking about it.
Yeah. And it can be difficult. It can be challenging. To stay committed and be able to achieve results at all these levels. But in terms of team, okay, I've worked under you in a team, and I've enjoyed how you led us as a team, okay? And I remember one of those words of yours, no one is leaving this team until I say so. So this lady is married. and all those who had already packed, they had to unpack and stay put, because the boss lady says nobody's moving an inch until I say so. And people have finished serving, and she says you can't go, and we are still in there. I'm sure some of them are here, they will testify. Have there been challenges so far as leadership is concerned for you? Any challenges you can share with us? I'm sure leaders are on now and they are listening and they'll be interested. How do you handle challenging situations so far as leading teams and leading people come into play? Any you want to share with us?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Challenges. Okay, I think I can have a few. Okay, so let me take you back to Holy Child, where I was supposed to lead a group of students. I was the vice president of Red Cross, and we had to go and clean up Cape Coast Hospital, now the district hospital. And I was so sure that, these are my team, and we're going to the mock. And then I've seen a lot of dead people, okay, in my house, my family house. Okay. I mean, when they lay them in states, that's what I mean, not meeting them on the roadside. No.
You got me scared.
So I was so sure I was, we'll go to the mall. I mean, I led them, I encouraged them. They were all eager to go and see how the mortuary and all those things, how people were placed and all that. So there I was leading my group. They opened the gates, and the stench and the sight of it all, in fact, at that moment, I wanted to run and vanish, okay? But you think back and realize that these ones are looking up to you, so you can't do that. So you had to stay in there. I was just looking at the ceiling, not looking anywhere else. So the man closed the door for us to go back. And it haunted me for some time. And what I learned from this is that you can't feel your people no matter what. So if they are faced with a situation, you brave it up for them, stand in for them and defend them. There was, I was a dining hall prefect, and then that's one of the things I learned though. Holy Child School. My sister was coming to Form 1. I was so happy to welcome her.
So what? Dining hall prefect?
Yes, Holy Child.
I want to note that one down. Holy Child, Dining hall prefect. Very well.
And office girl.
Please don't mix it with the office girl. We are just interested in the dining hall. The
food aspect.
How you managed that space. But please continue with your story, yes.
Okay, so my sister comes to Form 1 and I said, oh, she will be on the prefect's table. So I put her on the prefect's table, and then This girl said, hey, you are my sister. You can't come and ask me to do anything. So after dining, she would just leave without cleaning up or doing anything. So it was like, okay, she doesn't do it. Who do it? Who will do it? I have to do it. Okay. Then a mate of mine said, why are you pampering your sister like that? Everybody came to Form 1. Everybody was supposed to bring a sister. Do you know how the school is going to be? And that it's wrong to pamper her. And you know that the lesson I learned from there, that you never have a favorite. You should never have a favorite in your team. No matter what, treat everybody the same. You can't have a favorite in your team. So for now, off head, this is what I can say about some of the challenges. There are challenges that you can't talk about because it's part of your growth, okay? So I think at every point in my life, I got something that helped me to be where I am today.
Nice one. And how did you manage as a dining hall prefect?
Oh, my dear, are you going back to that?
No, I almost forgot. Now I
No,
just
as for Holy Child, they were disciplined. They were like the boys' school, you know. So you are supposed to be in the dining hall and
look,
eat.
we take offense. We take offense. You said they are not like boys.
They are not like the boys. Yes, the boys will come and then take everything. Sometimes they can carry the whole table food away. But yes, we are each other's keeper. So we share food according to, you know, and we eat according from. So that is it.
Priscilla, the assembly bow. Oh, the assembly bow. But in also, I mean, we have opportunity now. Okay, of someone who has led different teams and also in organization you are leading the HR team and you've garnered a lot of experience. Now, what would be your recommendation to leaders when you face challenges? What should be your disposition? What kind of mindset do you approach challenges with in your life so that we can also learn the Priscilla formula for overcoming challenging situations? Those you can talk about and those you cannot even talk about.
Okay, so one thing about Priscilla is that she doesn't like carrying out issues, okay? So if there are challenges, especially if it's, the person is higher than me, I approach and have a discussion. There are times that you are so furious that you don't even want to see the person. In that case, when you come to my office, I have a picture, a very striking picture. It's not that lovely, but anytime I see that picture, I always look at things differently. You see, it brings a smile, memory, a lot of things, and then you are like, so who are you? It's by grace that you are there. You have people who may step on your feet because they don't know what they are doing, okay? Sometimes I like feedback all the time. If I do something, I expect you to come talk about it. But I don't really like it when you go around telling all others and the person that is really at fault doesn't even know what she did. Okay, so I don't like it when my supervisors will call me, will just inform others of what I've done. I prefer that call me, have a discussion with you. You can blast me in your office. But when you make it known, everybody knows and I'm not aware, I feel offended. So these are some of the things that I'm dealing with. I'm not yet there. You know, leadership is a process. I'm not yet there, but I'm learning all these things and to become a better person, an effective leader. So that's how I sometimes, you know, resolve these challenges and take it to God in prayers.
Your principle.
Yeah, fair, firm, and friendly. I try to be.
All right. Now, normally, as leaders have to keep certain principles or values for your life. Usually, these values help to maintain a balance for your life, because there are always going to be competing situations, like this issue that you mentioned where someone has to be dismissed, and you think about the life of the person as maybe a breadwinner, the family, what is going to be the impact. Now, that kind of decision and that kind of orientation comes from a certain value system. Some things that are dear to you, some things that are precious to you and important to you. And would want to know, if we tease you now, push you now, what would be the values that you can share with us? What are those things that help keep your life in balance? I see some people are raising their hands already, but if you could just respond to this, and please be rest assured, we'll give you the opportunity to come in and also ask your questions. You can share also on the chat. We can take note of them and see how things go. But we will be interested to know in terms of values, how the value system works for you. What are those things that hold you, that pin you, that give you like your anchor or something for life and leadership?
Okay, so I believe that everybody is important. Every human being is important at his or her own way. Okay. And then there's the need to respect, no matter how old or how young the person is. You have to respect the person, because as we say, life is a changing, it's in a changing process. Today you are the boss, tomorrow you'll be the officer or the messenger. So at any point in time, anybody that you see, you have to try as much as possible to show the person respect, have that courage or have that time to talk, smile, make the person feel important, okay? And I think that's in that way, the person connects emotionally with you. And you don't respect, my boss, one of my boss would say discipline. If you are disciplined, you cover up all the values. If you are disciplined, you come to work early. If what has shaped my life all this while. The other thing that I want to talk about is just about what I've already discussed, okay? Ecclesiastes 9:10. Whatever your hands finds, your might. And therefore, it was for no reason that I landed in, it must be done, it must be done, it will be accounted for. Hello? So whatever we find ourselves doing today, we will definitely meet it in future, whether good or bad, we'll have the payments. Sometimes people say that judgment, it's only when you die that and you go to hell but I believe that everything that you do, you get your punishment here on earth before. So whatever you find yourself doing today, you make sure you give it your best shot. You respect people, you appreciate the little that people can do. And then I think that is it for me now. Mr. Pobi, are you there?
Sorry. So I was just saying that you've made some very powerful points. One of the points that really resonates with me is when you say that if you are disciplined, a lot of things will fall in place. A lot of the values will fall in place. And this is very key for leaders, because if you are not disciplined, you won't go far. And then you add onto it, whatever you do will follow you. What you are doing currently, you don't have to die before you see the effect or the impact of what it is that you are doing. That whatever you are doing currently, you will get your reward or you get your punishment to to accompany it. I see people are eager, and in fact, they are intimidating me on the platform. I'm not finished the questions that I have for you, but some hands have been up, and it is just right and good that we give people the opportunity now. Maybe you have a question for our guests tonight. You have a question for Priscilla. You have the opportunity, you unmute yourself. I saw Samuel Asma's hand up. We'll give you the opportunity. After Samuel, then we'll have Bernard also come in. So Samuel, please.
Hello, good evening, and good evening to my lovely sister, Priscilla. How are you?
Good evening. Very well, thank you. Long time.
Yes, long time. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Yes, please, I would like to know, I've heard that you've held a lot of positions, especially even when you were in Holy Child and also in Catholic Church. You've held a lot of positions. That's my question. And two, what time did you complete Holy Child College?
Okay, thank you very much. I did my O-level. To answer the first one first, I did my O-level 93 and then completed the A-level 95. And the position that I've held so far, I think I started from primary school when I was an office girl. And being an office girl, you are more like the assistant, you are more like assistant to the headmistress, because you have to make sure that you come to school with your starched iron uniform every morning. You make sure the office is in order. You know where every file is. Teachers on duty, their rules and all those things. So being an office girl was a startup for me in class 6. Then Holy Child, the vice president for Red Cross. Then I was a dining hall prefect as well. Then a secretary to the National Service Association. When we were doing our national service, I was a secretary. And when I came to do my HND too, I was a secretary for the association. That's the Association of Secretaryship and Management, Management Ghana. Then I was also the secretary for 2 terms in Pax Romana. That's it's the tertiary group of the Catholics. Okay, they call them Pax Romana. Then I held another 2 terms of PPC in my church. That's the start of this year. I was a PPC member for 2 terms. I'm now the secretary Parish Council of Catholic Women, the National Catholic Implementation Content, and then the coordinator of Business Management and Finance Guild. So far, this is what I can. This is a position. These are the positions I've held.
Wow! Congratulations.
Thank you, PK.
Please, yes, congratulations. And so much you have done. Now there are questions here, and you know, as we are on Zoom, some are also connected with us live on Facebook, and so we have members in what we call the high card community, people interested in leadership and these topics that we discuss. And so there is a question from the Facebook page community that I just want to chip in before I come back to those whose hands are raised. The question is this, and it's a hard one. Having had a broken heart, did that affect your role as HR to meals and in your leadership roles?
Oh no, I don't. Nobody has communicated that aspect to me yet. And you know, I told you I was going to be a reverend sister. So in the first place, the marriage thing was something else, okay? So it wasn't like I was fully
Sorry, Priscilla, you have to unmute. Sorry.
okay. So yes, it affected me, and but I don't think so. A long time ago, I don't think I wasn't that grown, you know, so I don't think it's really. Anyway, I can't say much, but I need to get a feedback, you know, before I can, you know,
Well, we get your point.
Sure. Yeah.
Now you are mature.
Yes. Yes, very matured. So
you've learned your.
Yes, I learned a few lessons and I moved on. So I think it's good.
Very good. Very good. Very well. So the males, they are not suffering under your leadership?
Not at all.
Yeah, because what you said about the boys before and combining that with this one.
Oh, the boys that I said they like food. That one is food. That one is food. Oh, no. My assistant is a male, and I don't think he's having any issues with me. Well, I don't know. I need to do that checkup. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a male and I've enjoyed working with you. So
exactly. So you're a testimony, right? You can give me a testimony.
And you know what Nana Kojo is saying? Nana Kojo says that working together with you and Nana Kojo was awesome. Let me read what Nana Kojo says. He says, Priscilla is such a selfless, generous, kind woman and a leader. I love working with her. That is from Richard, your vice and my vice also. But this is testament. So we've not even entered your generosity, your kindness, you know. I'm sure if I unleash Dominic on you now, you'll have more to say than any other person online with us. But Bernard, please. Bernard Yao.
Yes. Atasuno, thank you.
Yes, Atasuno, yes.
Priscilla, good evening, and thanks for
good evening, Bernard.
Shedding light on your career. I have a question and a request. It's on a light note, though. Now the question is, as you know, ethical leadership demonstrates a high regard for values. But sometimes realize that in person that in the leadership space, you sometimes come to conflict with other employees or top management. In such a scenario, what do you do? Because ethics is everything. That's my question. When you are done, now I make the request. Thank you.
Yeah, ethics is when you come across, when you come against the values, it means that you are not fit to be in the organization. You understand? But where management has issues with the juniors, if I should put it that way, as HR, you're supposed to be part of management at the same time being part of the juniors because they are the ones you fight for. So the ability to handle them, Bernard, is very important. Sometimes that's when we are most of the time at fix, because when you tune towards management, everybody will say, hey, and then she's a management person. When you come towards employees, they will call you. In fact, I have names. My directors call me. They're giving me I've really forgotten, you know, as I said, it's a process, you better.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Hello, Peter.
Thank you. And a request, please.
Oh, you have a request, Bernard?
Yes. You are the head of HR of Danwell, and I need a job. So what do I do? Thank you.
Bernard, you need to have a diploma in insurance. If you have that one, I'm sure the next recruitment will add you.
Okay.
You have a diploma in insurance.
No, I don't, but note my name. I'll acquire it and get back to you.
Yes, please. Thank you.
And please, if you get a job, remember high card, okay? You owe us a commission. Hello, Peter. Peter Odum.
All right, thank you.
Yes, Peter, go ahead.
Madam Priscilla,
Yes, Peter.
it was nice meeting you at
Hello.
Peter, can you raise your
Very
voice?
challenging. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, it's
Peter.
clearer now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Peter, we can hear you.
Oh, all right. So, Madam Priscilla, first, I want to know how you're going to handle your new role as a principal of the EMS girls. Looking at the fact that you have a lot of fun doing at work or different positions that you currently occupy. How are you going to combine that?
Oh, Peter, I can't hear you.
Yeah, but we hardly hear you. Maybe we'll ask Peter to put it in the chat because we can hardly hear you. Now, Stephen Amoachesi says this: Priscilla was and is still so selfless. She printed my ordination program and everything free of charge. She taught me a lot, even how to use a computer. God bless her. And we add our voice to that. May God bless you for all the good work that you've done. And Jed says that Priscilla inspires and always motivates me to become a better career woman. Vis-a-vis parenting, that's right. she's learned to combine this and still been able to do a lot. We really appreciate you. Eric Dadzi says, that's my HR. Some fans for you there. Now,
It's you.
there is a certain Chris. I wish I could get the full name. Please ask her if she's in a relationship now. Okay. Chris Oforijumfo is asking. He's asking me to ask you, are you in a relationship now? Yes. Hello, Priscilla.
No, I'm not.
All right. Finally, you found the answer.
Yes, I'm not.
All right. One Boateng is also saying, I'm a colleague of Priscilla at Downwell, and I can testify that she's a good woman. She's made a lot of impact and affected everyone positively, bringing on board a lot of policies to streamline our operations. Kudos. Keep it up. Look, Priscilla,
that's my boss. Thank you.
Oh, that's your boss. All right.
Not my direct boss, but it's a big man there in Downwell.
All right.
That's my general manager. Yes.
Awesome. GM.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you very much for also sending in that comment. Look, would want to know. It's not easy to blow your horn, but on such a platform, we'll be happy to hear from you some of the achievements that you've had in the course of leading and working. What are some of those that you can pinpoint to us? Now, your GM is sharing with us that you brought on a lot of policies to streamline operations at Downwell, and it's worth hearing and knowing some of them to challenge us. That as leaders, we can bring on a lot of change. And if you can share some with us, I'll come to Anthony, but if you can share some with us.
I think whatever is happening, it's a teamwork, okay? So I can't come out and say that I did that and I did that and I did that. No. GM is right in a way, but he also contributed immensely to it. Because if you come up with a policy and management does not support you, what have you done? It won't see the light of day. So on this note, I would like to appreciate GM and the team, my management team at Danwell, for the support. Thank you.
That's a very humble way of answering this question. I'll put it in another way. I'll come back to it. Hello, Sedinam.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, Sedinam.
Good evening, Anthony.
Priscilla, good evening. I also want
Tony.
to add my voice to this, that Priscilla is somebody who has a very good heart. And if you have somebody like that, no matter where she is, she would succeed. It's amazing to see what she's done with the two girls, combining it with work and everything. And her generosity is something that cannot be even mentioned. I want to take the opportunity to tell her that God bless her, and she knows.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
We've worked together on a couple of things outside work, and all that we have said, I'm only saying that she's just being modest and she just doesn't want to blow her own trumpet. But Priscilla is a good person, and God continue to bless her in her endeavors.
And we say amen to
wow,
that.
Tony, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, Peter has posted his question. You know, we're not getting the audio very well. Let me read it out. Madam Priscilla, how will you bring your expertise to Business Management and Finance Guild to harness ideal professionals in your jurisdiction? How will you do that?
Yeah, that's a tough one. But I think for now, my team members have a lot of plans and programs in place for our guild. I want to assure Peter that very soon, the members will hear from us. We have interesting ideas, and then we'll also come back to them for their inputs. So I don't want to talk here because my team members are not aware of what, and I don't think they would like me to,
to let the cat out.
Yes. So please, Peter, we'll come back to you. Thank you.
All right, we are all looking forward to the guild growing. I'm also a member of this guild, so we look forward to your leadership and what we will benefit. We are sure about that. We are sure. Now, there's a question from Dr. Ernest Opari. Priscilla, how would you handle a difficult worker who fails to come to work on time? How will you do that?
I've come across with a few, but I think first of all, we really need to understand what is keeping him late. Okay. We all have our reasons, you know, Accra, where people are coming from. So at a point, I was even rooting for flexible working hours. Okay. We can't always be at work at the same time, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Some, it may favor some because they live closer. Others live far away. We can't stress our workers when they are coming to work. So we'll have that discussion. If it's something intentional, we apply the rules. If it's not, we'll try and adjust it and find a way of handling it. Thank you, Ernest.
If it's intentional,
the rule will go. But if it's not, then we have a way of adjusting and working together.
That's good. Good to hear. Some of the comments and messages that we have on the chat. Priscilla Edward Tete sends this one in. He says, Priscilla is an epitome of leadership and multitasking. I always admire that quality of hers. Continue to shine. Auntie, people are really making reference to your ability.
That's my lecturer. Thank you, sir.
To multitask. Because Maureen also says Priscilla's turnaround time is really effective and efficient.
Oh, wow, Maureen. Wow, thank you, Maureen.
How do you Time management. Any comment? How do you manage your time?
So probably when you are used to something from the beginning, you know, it becomes normal to you, okay?
Mm.
When growing up, mommy will always be asking you, do this and do it within this specific time. Okay, so when you grow up, you grow with it and it becomes way of life. But I had to keep up the pace, the whatever the targets that you've set for yourself. So you do everything to make sure you are in line. So
Great.
basically, that is to me, yeah.
Ofori Dodo says, I worked with Priscilla at Sahel Sahara Bank, and she's
Yes.
a very wonderful person. And I'm not surprised
Oh,
she has
Frank.
climbed up to this level. All the best, Priscilla.
Oh,
this is
Frank,
one of your
thank
names.
you.
This is one of your names.
Mm-hmm.
Priscilla.
Yeah, Frank used to call me that.
Okay. Nice
Thank
one.
you, Frank.
One Samuel, I'm not getting the full name, maybe Samuel Asma. In fact, Priscilla made my marriage possible. Through her, I married my beautiful wife. She really made a good choice for me. God really bless her. This is where we need your contact, you see, because there are some expertise that people are talking about, and I'm sure people would also want to benefit. So did you do betweener, or you did a matchmaker, or you did a connection woman? Hey, Yehovah.
But he's my brother, so I had to go all out for him.
Okay.
And he was not in the country.
The
he was
best
not
for
in
your
the
brother.
Country. Yes, yes. He's always been my big brother.
So you
not
sent photo?
related.
Did you send him photo or something?
Oh, that one we'll discuss later off air.
Edward Thompson says that I have personally been a recipient of peace generosity. He's the real deal. Big ups, P, and God continue to bless you. Manye.
Thank you, Eddie.
Oh,
my boss.
She has this to say. I mean, she's your boss, she's my boss, she's our boss.
Yes,
Priscilla is a secretary to the National Catholic TV Implementation Committee, and we are only 2 females really on the implementation committee. You're only 2 females.
Yes,
I simply enjoy working with her. She has a good and kind heart. I feel she's the sister I never had.
Wow.
Priscilla Ohenere admires you. I pray for more grace upon your life. You're a role model. Love you, sis.
Oh, love you too, my boss.
Yeah, that is deep. That is deep and touching. You know, yeah. I have to confess, when Priscilla asks me to do something, it's difficult to say no. I don't know. I mean, when you meet someone who is giving so much out, when they ask you to do something, you cannot but just be available.
Wow.
Elvis Shre Asante, Dr. Asante, he's saying that I have come to know Priscilla for something now, and I'm not surprised with the good things that is being said about her. May God continue to bless her and her family, and she continue to keep up her good works. A lot.
Thank you, Doc. I'm grateful.
Look, there's one question for you, maybe the last question, and then we will take a few messages, and then you give us your final words. There's a question: how do you deal with a leader who applies favoritism all the time? This is from Christian.
How do you deal with a leader? Favoritism.
Yes. Maybe you're on a leadership team and you find that HR, one department head, or someone is applying favoritism all the time.
Yeah, that's a difficult one, right?
Yeah.
But I think I always believe in speaking your heart out. Okay, find a nice time, a nice moment, have a discussion, with the person. Sometimes they may not even know what they are doing, or they may think that nobody knows what is going on.
Engage them.
But you engage them, yes.
Yeah. There is something in leadership balance that is about having difficult conversation. I mean, it's a skill that can be developed, how you engage people on thorny and difficult issues. It's a skill that leaders need to develop. You may not like it, but it has to be said. And if it has to be said, it has to be said well. If it has to be done, it has to be done well.
Well,
yeah, and we're enjoying, friends, we're enjoying our time with the one and only Priscilla Manson, the lady of many sides, and very kind, generous heart, selfless in all the things she does. And we cannot but admire how she's been able to combine all these things and still be able to achieve the kind of results that she's been able to achieve. Look, usually we would have done 1 hour. Now we've crossed 1 hour and a quarter, and we are inching close to 1 hour and a half. We want to give you the opportunity to share your final words with us. People are listening, leaders, captains of industry, people who admire your leadership, who have followed you, and because of your presence are on with us tonight. What will be your final words to us, Madam Chair?
Okay, so my final words will be, as Ken Blanchard said, feedback is a breakfast of champions. Yes, so we learned something in school. Is it Joe Harris window?
Yes.
Where it says about 3 or 4 aspects of human, character or human being. There are one that is hidden, one that is in open, and one that is blind. So if you want to be an effective leader, rely more on feedback. By doing that, you decrease the effective leader should be someone who really knows and understands himself, know the negative disadvantages of, there's is a negative and positive side of you, so that you know how to act in every situation. So that's my advice. Please, feedback is very important as a leader. Let your team members always ask for feedback from your team members. And sometimes when the feedback comes, know how to handle them. Otherwise, sometimes you scare these ones away. If you're not able to handle them well, they will never tell you what is happening. You understand? Thank you.
Yeah. If what I'm getting from what you are saying is we should be open to feedback. We should not be afraid. And then we should be very good at how we receive feedback from people so that they can come to us more and more. We are blessed. Thank you so much for your time, my dear sister. Thank you for all that you are giving to the community and to the church in Ghana. We are blessed to have you as one of us, and what you are doing in the kingdom of God is just so commendable. Not only in church, you also do a lot in the corporate world, and your strides, the places you've worked and the places you've been speak volumes, and all the testimonies we've had, all the experiences people have shared point to the fact that, look, you stand out in a lot of ways, and we appreciate you. We appreciate what you are doing and the service that you are rendering to all of us, especially for your generosity. Thank you. Thank you so much for giving us. Yes, very caring and very interested in people and their welfare.
What's the name of her parish?
The name of Star of the Sea Parish.
Dansuma in Accra.
Oh, okay.
Star of the Sea.
Yes.
Okay. I would like to, because of you, I would like to come and visit you one day.
Nice one. So
Please
Star
come.
of the Sea.
Anytime.
I'll come.
Dansuma, last stop.
Last stop.
All right, friends.
Dansuma, last stop. Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank you very much for being with us. As we were talking about feedback, and you mentioned the Johari window, just last weekend, I was doing leadership training for a group of leaders, and I was sharing this with them. They need to open their open space. The open arena needs to be widened, and feedback is one of those that helps you. It allows you to be transparent. It allows you to be who you are. It allows you to reach a lot more people, because sometimes even your vulnerability becomes an opportunity for someone to learn and to pick themselves up also.
Yeah. And my boss is good at that. So let me cut you short here. My boss, the CEO, is very good at that.
Giving you feedback
all the time. Yes, and I really appreciate that a lot.
Oh, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for joining. Please join our HiCard community on Facebook, and kindly note that we do sessions on Facebook and YouTube. The channel is Daniel Pobi on YouTube, Daniel Pobi on YouTube, and also on Facebook. We have HiCard Consulting Limited and also HiCard Community. Be part of us, like our page, join our community, and be part of we growing together in leadership, growing our leadership competencies and skills, talking things that relate to leadership so we can all grow together. Tonight, it's been a privilege having all of you, friends and family of our sister Priscilla, and all who have joined us for the very first time. We appreciate you, and God bless you all. From us, the HiCard community and HiCard team, we wish you all the best. Keep safe, and God bless you all. Bye-bye.
God bless you too. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Good night.
Hey, Pastor Anne.
Good night. Good night, Priscilla.
Good night.
Good night. Take care.
Good night, Sabina. I saw you.